Hello, guy. I want to talk to you. There's an article on May 9th of the Zaid Jilani, Donald Trump may escalate the Afghanistan terrible mistake. Yeah, this is more, you're seeing Trump buckle to the military-industrial complex, a thing he was constantly critical of Obama for. Before he was ever even running for president, he did this. There's tweets like from August 2011, Ron Paul is right that we are wasting trillions of dollars in Iraq and Afghanistan. October 2011, when will we stop wasting our money on rebuilding Afghanistan? We must rebuild our country first. 2011, Trump says this. 2012, it's time to get out of Afghanistan. We are building roads and schools for people that hate us. It's not in our national interests. Right? February 2012, Donald Trump tweets, China is getting minerals from Afghanistan. We are getting our troops killed by the Afghani government. Time to get out. Afghanistan and China signed the first oil contract. Yeah, on and on. There's all these tweets, and I'll put the link to this article below of all the crazy stuff that Trump said leading up to this, you know. And it's the same thing with Syria. You're seeing the deep state, the military-industrial complex shape this guy who is a buffoon, idiot, jackass, and what's really going on. And so what this article is saying, and there's another article by Eli Lake in Bloomberg, and I'll put the link to that one as well, is that they're saying that the National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster, has been the guy trying to get Trump into escalation. So this is the thing too, and it's in this article, the Bloomberg article, Trump faces a policy dilemma: fight jihadis as he promised, or focus on domestic priorities as he promised. That's the thing. It's going to make America great again, make us safer. We're going to get out of these wars, but now I got to go get the jihadis, so I'm going to keep us in these wars. That's the dilemma he's painted himself into. And this is part of our decades of never-ending war foreign policy specific to the Middle East that's ridiculous. We back the Shah of Iran, right? So then he got taken out of power, and so we then backed Saddam in the war, the Iraq-Iran war in the 80s. We backed the Mujahideen that were fighting the Soviets in Afghanistan in the 80s. The Mujahideen basically kind of became the Taliban that we then ended up fighting. So this is our great lineage here. I remember too this idea that we're going to put more money into. I'll read an excerpt from this article in Bloomberg. The new strategy, according to these officials, is not cheap. There would be a baseline of at least $23 billion a year to support a variety of initiatives in Afghanistan, not only subsidizing Afghan police and military forces, but also funding anti-corruption programs and other priorities. If that sounds expensive, bear in mind the untold costs of the U.S. instead failed to support instead failed to support Afghanistan recovery, and the country became a safe haven for terrorists like it was before 9/11. Oh man, there we go. Oh boy, but it's going to be like 9/11 again. We didn't go in like. This is the thing that's so insane. I was in Afghanistan in 2004, right? So we invaded Afghanistan October 2001, a month after 9/11, basically. And when I was there in 2004, there was an Army colonel who was like, "We're doing good work here. We're helping build roads. We're finding water wells," because Afghanistan was, probably still is. They were saying it was like 700 some years behind. Like, no joke. I saw the difference in flying over Afghanistan and flying over Iraq. I remember the first time I flew over Iraq when I was there doing shows in 2007. I was like, wow, you saw roads, you saw there was an infrastructure there. Afghanistan, oh my God. There was like one highway between the Bagram base and Kabul, and it was like a 1.5 lane highway, and there's no guardrails, there's minefields on either side. You saw nomads. You saw, when you're flying in a helicopter, you're just seeing it, and you're seeing these little villages. You're seeing these nomadic tribes, and you're seeing goat herders. You're seeing, I mean, they had no infrastructure, man. And so we were kind of, which was after we just bailed after the 80s. We bailed on that country. If you watch the movie Charlie Wilson's War, that's the end of that movie. Tom Hanks, who's playing Charlie Wilson, says, look, we're abandoning this country now, and there's a high illiteracy rate, and now they're heavily armed, and that's what's easily, that happens anywhere. It happens in America. If you look at gangs, anytime you take a group of people that aren't getting a great education and there's not a lot of opportunity for them, they're susceptible to some sort of gang or whatever. It happens in the rural white, uneducated white areas. That's how the white supremacists come in. You're white, you're not very educated, you don't have a lot of jobs and opportunities. Oh, come in. You're in an inner city, there's no jobs or opportunities, the schools suck. Hey, join the gang. It's the same thing in the Middle East. It's the same thing in the Middle East. They did this in Afghanistan. I was there. They told me a lot of these. So when we first got in there, Afghanistan was the #1 supplier of heroin. So you'd fly over these poppy fields. That was their #1 crop. So, tough war on drugs. So we just got rid of all these crops. So now these farmers who aren't radical jihadists are like, I need to feed my family. And then the Taliban or Al Qaeda or whatever goes, guess what? I'll give you $100 to, take this cell phone and connect it to this thing. Like they wouldn't have one guy build a bomb and go put it there. They do it like, you put this part together, I'll give you $100. You put this part together, I'll give you $100. And then you just put this by the road, and then I'll pay another guy $100 to just dial this phone number when I give you the signal. And of course, then there's a spotter saying, here comes the convoy right by the IED. The guy calls and it blows up. Now, you need $100. You have no crop. Your crop just got taken away. It's not like they tried this, like taking away the opium and we'll have other crops. It's a very specific extreme climate. What other crops are you going to grow unless you spend hundreds of billions of dollars on irrigation and all this other kind of stuff, which you could do, but they didn't. So now you're a poor farmer. $100 feeds your family for a month. And somebody says, put this thing by the side of the road and dial this phone number. Of course you're going to do it. What the hell else? What other options do you have? And then rockets come raining in from above and kill friends and family members. Then now you have become a jihadist. Now you are going to join this. And so I had when I was there in 2004, this colonel said, we're doing all this good work, man. We're helping people. And we had, village elders say, thank you so much. We're safe now. They protected security so girls could go to school. I was like, wow, all right. The 9/11 terrorists were in Afghanistan. Okay, we're doing the right thing. Here's what we're going to help rebuild this country. It's going to be great. Everything then got diverted to Iraq. I was there again in 2006, and an Air Force colonel said to me, oh man, we're barely doing anything because everything got diverted to Iraq when we were chasing the fake weapons of mass destruction, which Iraq was, of course, just about oil. Had nothing to do with 9/11. And then we just piecemeal, and the Taliban kind of comes back to power, and we just, that was all Bush. And then Obama ramped up Afghanistan, put more troops in there, then pulled them back, and now we're got to go back and put more people in there. It's just preposterous, man. It is just preposterous. $23 billion a year. I wonder if that could help the oil spill that just happened. The DAPL, Dakota Access Pipeline, just had a spill. The pipeline that they said was the safest, clean, it just leaked a little. $23 billion. I wonder if we could have drinkable water in Flint for $23 billion a year. Anytime somebody complains to you, friend, family, whatever, and anyone complains about some type of, if we need more money for this thing, just say, well, we're wasting it on the 54% of our operating budget. Again, that was under Obama. Trump has now increased it So it was just under $600 billion a year for military. Trump wants to spend, I don't know, first he was going to say 50, 60 million or billion. Now it's more like 25. Anyway, now it's over $600 billion a year on the military. And for shit like this. You know what? If we're going to spend 23 billion, we should go there and just build schools and soccer stadiums and education for everybody and drinkable water. Oh, but wait, we don't even have that in this fucking country. It's so sick how much they do this. And they just it's I'll read this article, this thing. If this all sounds familiar, it should. The Obama administration faced a similar choice in 2009. Back then, President chose to support a surge inside the country and a counterinsurgency approach, similar to the one that had success in Iraq at the end of George W. Bush's term. And yet, Obama began to get cold feet about the strategy almost as soon as he approved it. Some voices in his administration, such as Vice President Biden, favored a plan that focused on counterterrorism, striking terrorist leaders, but not rebuilding a discredited central government. By the end of Obama's presidency, he had blown through his own deadlines for withdrawing troops from the country as the Taliban and other terror groups grew stronger. Yeah, both Bush and Obama let the Taliban get stronger. Because it's just this piecemeal, never-ending war. Right? And this is more bullshit, and Trump is going to... So, like... And how many vets now? We're going to send more boots on the ground. Okay, you know what that means? More vets coming back dead, wounded, PTSD, unable to function in society. I've seen it. I was in Afghanistan the first time I was there, and we were at this air base in Kandahar, waiting to fly to another base. And there's all these guys in uniform and everything, and women in uniform. And then this guy comes in, beard, short, dirty, this big pack, and a sniper rifle with a silencer about that long. I mean, like, and he just comes in and throws this pack down. And he's just like, and it was obvious to everybody that this guy had been living up in the hills for who knows how long. And I remember just thinking, how is that guy supposed to integrate back into society? How is that guy? I felt weird 2 weeks of telling jokes. I'd come back here to California and be like, whoa, this is weird. I can't imagine. And we did that for hundreds of thousands and millions of men and women that served this country. Why couldn't we have our military go actually be a force for good? And all they do, oh yeah, we built schools and made it great. First, let's get our infrastructure squared away. We could have water pipelines instead of oil pipelines. It's just bullshit. And again, it comes back to, I say the same goddamn thing. This is all about oil, and it's all about money, and it's all about what we need to do as progressives is get fucking tough. Grow a goddamn backbone and get tough, and don't back down from this, because this just more never-ending war. And the human race and the earth could really, literally, life on this planet could end in our lifetimes if we keep going down this goddamn road. So it's all the more reasons we have to fight to be real progressives, because I'm tired of this shit. Or back in Afghanistan, it's our longest war. It is the longest war in the history of the United States. It's 2017. It's May of 2017. We started in October of 2001. Nothing's better. Nothing's different. Trillions of dollars have been spent. Thousands of lives have been lost. On our end, on their end, how many civilians have we killed? Right? We haven't eradicated terrorism. It's not like we all look back and go, wow, Afghanistan's this thriving democracy, and now it's a tourist destination. Just like there's commercial flights to Hanoi now. Oh my God, this is great. Germany and Japan are our allies after World War II. Yeah, we've really done it. We've really helped. This could work. This could work. Not the way we're doing it. Not this never-ending war way. So, like and subscribe to this, you guys. Support the Patreon. I need your support to keep doing these. I really do. The links are below, and I see many of you sharing this on social media, which is awesome. Thank you so much.